that like button for me. Let's get 1,000 likes. Hey guys, thanks for tuning back into the channel. This video is going to be about the best first 3 mods to do to a Newedge Mustang. And I know there's a lot of videos about this out there, but this is basically just going to be my take on it. And it's really going to depend on what has been done to the car before you got it. And the best case scenario is if you can get your hands on one that's had nothing done to it. I know that may be difficult these days, but it is possible, because when I got this car, absolutely nothing was done to it except for some old tint. Now I know it might be windy out here, and if it is, I apologize. There's not much I can do about it, but I just took the car out for the first time in a few weeks. I took it out and cleaned it up. It's going to be getting repainted soon due to somebody hit and run the car on the back bumper. So I'm going to get a new 0304 Cobra rear bumper, and basically going to have to repaint the whole car because it needs it. Because I used to drive it a lot, and it's got a lot of road rash on it, and that's the only way to correctly match it with being that it's 3-stage paint, laser red, it's very hard to match. Anyway, back to the best first mods for a Newedge Mustang. And in my opinion, the #1 first mod you can do to these cars is going to be the exhaust. Put the exhaust on it, your favorite sounding exhaust. Get the sound that you want, because these cars do sound great. They're one of the best sounding cars you can get, and there's a lot of different options out there. Right now this one has a Pipes M80 catback, and it's got BBK long tubes and X pipe, but at least a catback is what you want. At least if it's in the budget, go ahead and get long tubes and an X or H pipe. If you like a deep sound, you want to go with H pipe. If you like a raspy sound, you want to go with the X pipe. Off-road is the way to go on the mid pipe, off-road mid pipe. Or you can do what Derek Barron calls a firmware update. But yeah, so exhaust, that would be a #1 first mod. Get it sounding the way you like it. #2, these cars come from the factory riding super high, and this one, it's not super low. It could go lower. It's got Viking coilovers on the back. I still got to get the front Viking coilovers. I haven't got those yet, but it's got Eibach and Takiko struts up front. Yeah, I may lower the back some more just to get a little more stance out of it. But yeah, these cars come from the factory. They ride high from the factory, almost like a all-wheel drive car or something. But get the car setting down, 2 inches at least. You want to drop it about 2 inches at least. And to go along with that, wheels. Staggered fitment is the best look on these cars. Staggered 10.5s in the back, 9s up front, and you want a 315 tire. That's what's on this car, 315 35s. That is the best look you can get out of these cars. I've had several different wheels on this car. I've had 18s on the car. I decided to go back to 17s because I don't know, I like the look. I found these are OEM chrome Terminator wheels that I found just outside Atlanta. I drove down there and got them, got a good deal on them with brand new Nitto 555 tires. So yeah, the 18s, they look good, but if you want a 315 or 335, you know, whichever size you prefer on the back, but it needs to be in the 3s. If you want a 315 tire and you have 18-inch wheels, you're kind of limited on what brand you can put on there. You know, there's Toyo and maybe certain Nittos you can get, and there's maybe a couple other brands, but you're limited in the price. Oh my gosh, the price on 315s for an 18-inch tire is more than 20-inch wheels cost. I mean, 20-inch tires cost. It's ridiculous. So I went back to 17s, you know, and plus I just like the way the 17s look on these cars. I think I like the way 17s look better than 18 because you can put more tire on there, and you know, you got more tire, you got more handling. But with 17s, you've got a whole lot more. It's a nice Bronco. You got a whole lot more brands to choose from with a 17-inch wheel. You know, Nitto, Sumitomo, just, I don't know, you name it. They probably make a 17-inch 315 tire. Toyo, Nitto, all of them. I'm probably going to go, once these Mickey Thompsons wear out, I'm probably going to go with Nitto to match the fronts, because I've got a whole set of 17x9s OEM chrome Terminator wheels, and I added these 10.5s because they were, you know, they were new and had new tires. Got a good deal on them, and it gave me that staggered fitment that I want. But yeah. So in my opinion, those are the first mods that I would do to a Newedge if nothing has been done to the car. Those are the first things you want to do: exhaust, suspension, and wheels. And that's what really makes these cars look the best, those first three things right there. Now if you've got the car and some of those things are already done, okay, well then you can step up to, you know, black out your windows, get tint. That's also another thing that's a must, is tint. And then, you know, another must is the shifter. The shifter on these cars from the factory are really long throws, and the placement. Everybody knows about these cars knows that the placement is not great. So the best, or I'm not going to say the best, but the most popular short shifters for these cars, one being the Steeda Tri-X. That's what this car has, in MGW. I wouldn't mind having the MGW, but I've got other things that need to be done. There's nothing wrong with the Steeda Tri-X at this time. It's working. It gets the job done. But you know, it's all about preference, I guess. So yeah, you know, if it's already lowered, another thing you can add is subframe connectors. That's a necessity on these cars. Stiffen it up, make it ride better. don't know if it rides better, but it handles better. It'll launch better. It'll feel more rigid. But yeah, y'all go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, hit the like button, and if you ain't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It ain't gonna cost anything. It's free. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Nobody hits the buttons. Stingy. Damn, y'all are stingy. It's like I gotta beg for views. I know I haven't put out much lately, but I do plan on putting out a lot more. Right now is just a busy time for me and my family. We got a lot going on, and we got a lot to do in this next month. But yeah, best first 3 mods. Best first 3 mods. Number 1 being exhaust. I've had a lot of different exhausts on this car. Not a lot, but a few. My original catback is a Borla touring catback, and the touring mufflers, they have a great sound, but they're not very loud. Sorry for the sirens. I don't know if y'all can hear that dog howling, but he don't like the siren neither. But yeah, Borla touring. And I changed those out to Spintech 9000s. And those to me sounded a whole lot like, come on, man. That's my luck though, that's how it goes. I want to do something, somebody's got something to say about it. Yeah, Spintech 9000s I had on here, they kind of sound a little bit like Flowmasters to me, and they're okay. But I ended up with Pipes M80s, and they sound pretty good. They kind of have a Borla sound to them, really, at certain RPMs. But what I'd really like to have on this car is Borla Stingers. In my opinion, they're one of the best sounding mufflers on this car, is a Borla Stinger or Borla Attack. Either one of those, you cannot go wrong with those mufflers. And you can't go wrong with Flowmaster. Flowmasters are cheap. You can get the knockoff brands pretty cheap, and they're going to sound good. There's a lot of different routes you can go with exhaust. Just like there's a lot of different routes you can go with suspension. You can go with iBox springs, H&R springs, all kind of springs out there to drop this car. And if it's not in the budget, if the budget is low, you can take the factory springs off and you can cut them and put them back on. You can cut the factory springs, take the isolators out, and it'll drop just fine. It's not going to hurt it. You can get at least 1 coil off of this car and still ride good. Maybe 1.5 at the most, and still ride okay. It's going to be a little bouncy, but it's a lowered car. It's to be expected. If I remember correctly, you want to take it, if you're going to cut them, you want to cut off the bottom in the front and off of the top in the rear. You can't cut from the bottom in the rear because of the pigtail. It gets smaller at the bottom, and that's how it sits on the control arm perch. It has to have that. So you cut off the top in the back and off the bottom in the front. It's not hard to do. I don't even think I used a spring compressor or nothing. Once you get that spring out, you'll have to bear down on the control arm in the front to get that spring out for the first time. But once you cut it, it's going to go right back in pretty easily. You can probably do that in an hour and a half or so and you get done, your car's lowered. That's just if or if the budget is low, that's one way to get it done. But wheels, you can get wheels off Marketplace, or you can get them brand new. But to get the right look, you want staggered. Staggered is the way to go. And That's just my opinion. But there's a lot you can do these cars. There's a lot of different routes you can take. You know, let me know what you think about these first 3 mods. The color sure does change a lot in the sun. But anyway, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next video.